All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening. Understanding that we are meeting from different locations. So I greet to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, this morning. I believe that you are doing fine. We are so grateful once again for this opportunity that we made it to the living list for today. So we are not taking it for granted. We are so grateful and we are so thankful this morning. Yes, another chance again to chase our dreams. So welcome to our technical class this morning. If you can hear me, please give me a 1 in the chat. If I'm loud and clear, drop me a 1 in the chat. If I'm loud and clear, kindly drop me a 1 in the chat. If I'm loud and clear, kindly drop me a 1 in the chat. Okay. All right. So welcome to our training. Yes, it's Coach Mo here, joining you from Johannesburg, South Africa. So yesterday we what did we learn yesterday? To those who were here yesterday, what did we cover? What did we cover yesterday? Can you remind me, what did we cover yesterday? What did we cover yesterday? Yes, candlesticks. But where were we on candlesticks? What did we talk about candlesticks? You have to be very specific with your answer. Yes. Where were we on candlesticks? What did we talk about candlesticks? I'm waiting for an answer in the chat. Someone is checking their book. They want to see where they wrote. To those who normally write when they are in a class, some they are busy scratching their head, trying to touch their brain so that their brain can remind them. Unfortunately, the brain cannot remember close and opening positions for both demand and supply. All right. Okay, so maybe without wasting much time, let me okay, where candles opens and closes. All right, I think that is much specific. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen and then we go into what we are going to learn. Yesterday we looked at buyers and sellers. Understanding that a candle or a candlestick, it is a representation of what is going on in the market. All right. Yes. A candlestick, it is a representation, a visual representation of what is happening in the market or what is going on in the market. So we decided to give two colors to our candles. All right. We gave green color and red color after finding out that there are only two forces or two pressures in the market, the buying pressure and the selling pressure. So we gave the buying pressure green color and we gave the selling pressure red color. So any candle that is in red, it represents selling pressure or it represents sellers in the market. And any candle that is green, it represents buying pressure or buyers in the market. And then we went as far as understanding that buyers, they are the ones who pushes the price to the top. So they normally open the market from the bottom, or they open the price from the bottom, they push it to the top. That is the nature of buyers. Right? Then I was even saying that we've got a slogan which we normally use, that buying low, selling high, buying low, selling high. So buyers, they've got a tendency of buying low, buying from the bottom, all right, anticipating the rising of price. So they are the ones that pushes the price to the top so that they can sell after gaining some profits. While sellers, they are the ones, okay, that pushes the price to the bottom. Mind you, when you become a buyer, at a certain point in the process, you are going to become a seller, okay? Once you have bought, what is remaining is for you to sell, okay? So when you have landed into profit, automatically you are going to become a seller and you will sell. So when you are selling from the top because the price went high. All right, you are selling from where? From the top. So in that manner, it means sellers, they are opening their price from the top. Okay, they are pushing it to the bottom. Hence, we are saying sellers, they open above and they close below. Buyers, they open below, they close above. Okay, that's what I was trying to paint a good picture yesterday when I was using trading view so that you are able to see live. Okay, I think I was using trading view to open some candles. I think it was in a 1 minute time frame or something like that. I wanted you to see that whenever a candle is opening, if they are buyers who are in control, okay, when it opens, where does it go? Okay, if they are sellers that are in control, when the candle opens, where does it go? All right, if you remember very well, I think that's what we covered yesterday. So let me just wrap up by sharing this slide over here so that we can do justice to the lesson. So let me share my screen. Just a moment. Okay, so let me share this and then bring it to the screen. All right, is my screen visible? Am I sharing screen? Are you able to see my screen? Are you seeing my screen? Is my screen visible? Please indicate if you are able to see my screen. Is it visible? Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you so much. Muchamanza. Muchamanza. I don't know what does it mean. I think the name has got something, has got a special meaning. Muchamanza. Okay. Okay, so let's go. So this is what I was wrapping up yesterday when it comes to candles. All right. So in this slide here, I want you to treat this as a buying candle, the white color. Okay, the white color candle. I want you to treat it as a buying candle. Okay, a candle that represents buyers. Okay, while this black one, you should treat it as a selling candle, a candle that represents sellers. Okay, so when you look at this, we are looking at parts of a candlestick. I'm taking you there now after understanding that buyers, they open from the bottom, they close above. Sellers, they open from above, they close below. Okay, so we want to wrap up and find out the candlestick anatomy. We are looking at parts of a candlestick. Right, so let's come here and wrap up the green candle, which is a white candle over here. Right, so you can see that in this particular candle, there is the open here where the price opened or where the market opened. All right, then the price went up. Okay, the price went up. All right, so you're going to find out that when the price opened here, okay, when the price opened here, before it went up, before it started going up, there was a selling activity. In most cases, you will find out that, okay, when a candle opens, okay, when a candle opens, you are going to find out is either there might be a buying, but in most cases you will see that this was a selling activity. When you see a shadow like this, okay, when you see a shadow like this, when you see something like this below the opening price or below the body of the candle, you should know that there was a selling activity. So when the price opened here, all right, price went a little bit down to that low, which is called the low of the market. Okay, the low of the market, it means how low the price went when it opened. Okay, at which level? At which level did it go low when the price opened? So you can see that this is how low it went. All right, but it opened here. That's where the opening price is. And then the price went up there. Okay, when it went up there, then it went as far as that level, which happens to be the high of the market. Okay, which happens to be the higher of the market. Now, it did not close here, though it went higher that way, but it did not close over there. Price went down, it came down. There was a selling activity. Okay, there was a selling activity. Then it ended up closing somewhere here. That's where it made the close. So this is the close of the candle. This is the opening of the candle. This is what we call the real body. Okay, this is what we call the real what? The real body. All right, now when you look closely, when you look closely, you will find out, that there is something like a tail. Okay, there is something like a tail. It is either found above the body or it is found below the body. Okay, something that looks like a tail. It is part of the candle. Okay, so this thing that looks like a tail, it is termed as a shadow. Okay, it is termed as a shadow or a wick. Okay, some they call it a wick. Okay, some they even call it a tail, as I am calling it a tail. All right, and some they call it a shadow. Okay, a shadow. Yes, just like the shadow that you know of. So that is that thing over there. So when it is found above the body of the candle, like here, it has grown above the body of the candle. Since it is above, it is termed as an upper shadow. Okay, its name is coming from its position or its location. Where is it located? Is it located above or it is located below? So when it is located above, it is called the upper shadow or upper tail, upper wick, whatever word you're gonna choose to use. It is the same thing, right? So when it grows or when it is located below, it is called a lower shadow. Are we together? The open is here, the close is here. This is the high of the price or the high of the market. How far in terms of rising the price went. Okay? How low in terms of declining the price went, which we call the low of the price or the low of the market. So you are able to see that from this candle, we are finding out that the body, the candle should comprise of the opening price. It should also have the closing price. Not only that, there should be the high and the low of the price. Yes, sometimes, yes, there is the body. There is the real body. But you see sometimes a candle that looks like a plus sign, you're not gonna see a real body like this. Okay, you're not gonna see a real body like this, right? So it does not matter. What matters is in any other candle, there should be the opening price of that candle, there should be the closing price of that candle, there should be the high of the market or of the price, there should be the low of the price. In other candles, you might not find a shadow. Okay, in other candles, you are going to see a full body without some shadows. Okay, so there you are gonna see that we don't have a shadow here. Okay, you are going to see when you go to your trading view, you are going to locate some candles that has got no shadows, right? But it does not mean that that candle has got no low, no high. Okay, the candle should have the high of the market, the low of the market, even if there is no shadow. I'm gonna explain when I get there, but I wanted you to catch this first and say what comprises of a candle. The candle should comprise of the opening price, the closing price, the high of the price, the low of the price, and the real body. These are components of a candle, parts of a candlestick, right? In addition, you might add the shadow, the upper shadow and the lower shadow. Okay, but in other scenarios, looking at how the body, how the candle has developed, you may find out that these shadows are absent, they are not there. Is this clear, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to parts of a candlestick? When it comes to parts of a candlestick, the same applies here. Maybe let me just wrap up once before I connect with you. The same applies to this candle. We were considering this as a buying candle. All right, so let's consider also this selling candle. Okay, the parts that are on the buying candle, they are the same parts that are on the selling candle. The only difference is that when it comes to a selling candlestick, okay, the opening price is on top. The location of the opening price is above the candle, while the closing of the price is below the candle. Like I said that sellers, they open their price above, they close it below. So the same parts that are here, they are the same parts that are here. The only difference is the opening, where is it located, the closing, where is it located when it comes to sellers. That's the only difference. But there is the high of the market or the price, there is the lowest point where the price went. Probably also there is the real body over there. Okay, shadows, they are coming after something has happened, of which I'm going to explain how do shadow develop, how do shadow come into picture. Okay, but the matter which is at hand is understanding the close of the price, the opening of the price, the high of the price, and the low of the price. These are components of a candlestick. Is the message at home? Is the message at home? Now you know. Probably you were just looking at a candlestick. Yes, it has got parts. It has got parts. The candlestick has got parts. So when you open your trading view, before you start trading, you must know where is the opening, where is the closing of the previous candle. Yes. How high did it go? How low did it go? Did it develop a body? All right? Yes. All right. So since the message is at home, let us move a little bit further. Let us move a little bit further. Okay. So here is another thing that we needed to learn. Here is another thing that we needed to learn. Just like human beings, just like us, okay? we do have different body sizes. Okay, just like us human beings, we do have different body sizes. Okay, we are not the same when it comes to stage. We are not the same. Okay, we do have different body sizes. Some they are slim, some they are what do you call, which word should I use? I don't want to use the word fat. Yeah, they are not fat. Okay, I'm looking for a better word to use it. Yes. So some they are slim, okay, some they are tall, some they are short. Okay, that is our body sizes. Okay, so candles also, they do have different body sizes, but now the only difference is that when it comes to candles, when you see a candle with a small body, there is a special message hidden in that candle to you as a trader. Okay, it is not just for display. Whenever you see a candle, okay, its body looking the way it is looking, you should know that to you as a trader, there is a message that is hidden behind that. Okay, so that's what we are coming here to discover. When a candle is looking like that way, what message does it carry? So let's come and learn about different body sizes of a candle. Does it matter? When you see a candle looking this way, does it matter? Yes, it matters. Let's discover what is hidden behind different body sizes of a candle. Now, when it comes to long bodies, okay, you are going to find candles that are long in terms of their body sizes. So when you see a candle that is long in terms of their body sizes, you should understand that there is a strong, okay, there is a strong, or there was a strong pressure. Remember, we are talking about two pressures in the market, which is the buying pressure and the selling pressure. So when you see a candle having a long body like this, you should know that there was a strong pressure. So that strong pressure can be of buyers or it can be of sellers. But the bottom line is that a long-bodied candlestick, it represents a strong pressure. So it can be a strong buying pressure or it can be a strong selling pressure. Okay? Are we together? When it comes to long-bodied candlesticks, what message do they carry? We trade volume, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to trading, we trade volume. Okay, so we are trying to measure the amount of volume that was in a particular trade session, since a candle represents a particular trade what session. Remember, a candle can be in an hour. Okay, the candle can be an hour candle, the candle can be a 4 hours candle, the candle can be a 1 day candle. All right, so this 1 day candle, it means it is a trade session that it took for 24 hours. Okay, this 4-hour candle, it is a trade session. Buyers and sellers were doing their game. They were playing their game in that candle for 4 hours. At the end of that 4 hours, we are able to discover who won the game in terms of pressure. Okay, who won the game? So if the candle closed green, it means buyers finished the game and they won it. They did not allow sellers to display their red color in the candle. So buyers displayed the green color to show that they were in control throughout the game, throughout that trade session. But that does not mean that there were no sellers. The sellers were there, but their activity could not supersede the buying activity. Are we together? Are we together? So long-bodied candlesticks, they represent a strong pressure. I'm saying it can be a selling pressure, it can be a buying pressure. Are we still friends? Are we still friends? Are we still friends? You want to be a trader trading in Royal Q. Yes. Are you discovering yourself? Are you trying to discover yourself? Are you upgrading in terms of your mindset, how you look at the market? Or you are still that somebody who chases the market? Whenever green candles are there, you just chase. Are you upgrading your knowledge? That when you see a long-bodied candlestick, what does it mean about the previous session? Who was in control? Who lost the game? Okay? Yes. All right. So if a long-bodied candlestick represents a strong selling pressure, okay, so you are going also to find out these short candles. You're gonna see this type of candles, okay, short ones, these short ones, okay. Yes. So when you see these short candles, you should know that there was uh, little buying activity or selling activity, okay. Short and small bodies candlesticks, okay. Short and small bodies, it indicates little buying, little selling. Are we together? This is a 4-hour time frame candle. This is also a 4-hour time frame candle. I'm just saying that as an example so that you are able to compare the two, okay? That the same time frame, okay, the same period this one took, it is also the same period this one took. But look at their body sizes. Okay, this one is having a long body, this one is having a short body, yet the same time frame. What symbol or what symbolizes this? It means that here there was little pressure, here there was strong pressure. The same applies to this. You are going to see that when you go to a trading view, right? So this is what we normally find out when we are looking at candles. So we are going slowly but surely. We are trying to find out what candlesticks display. Remember, this is a tool that we use to measure the temperature of the market. Temperature of the market. So here, I think the temperature was low. Yeah, the temperature was low. It was not very hot. Yes. But here, the temperature was high. I don't know how many degrees Celsius that you can put. But here tells you that the temperature was really, really high. It was really, really hot. Yes. Some, yes, some they got buried here. Yeah, yes. Some probably they got liquidated if they were trading along, and then this candle came out and they ended up being liquidated. The market went against them. Yes, the same applies to this one. Yeah, some who tried to do a short and then the candle went high up in terms of price with strong buying pressure, then they ended up getting swallowed by the market. Yes. So you needed to understand what normally happens in a candle. When a candle is displayed like that, what happened in that trade session? What transpired in that trade session between buyers and sellers when they were having a conversation? Who won the conversation at the end of the day? Are we still friends? Sometimes it gets interesting when you start understanding what you are really doing. Yeah. Are we still friends? Are we still friends? Are we still friends? Let me do this a little bit. Let me do this a little bit. Let me do this a little bit. I like reference. I like reference. Yes, I like reference. So let me come to the live market here. Can you see the display of candles here? They are in different body sizes. Can you see this display? Like I was saying, sometimes you may find a candle that may not have a shadow, maybe a very small shadow. All right. Can you see this candle here? How full it is? Can you see this candle, how full it is? Yes. Does not mean that sellers were not present. Sellers were present, but they couldn't supersede the buying pressure. All right. Can you see these shadows? Can you see these shadows? Can you see the bodies, different body sizes? Can you see these different body sizes of the candles? Can you see? Yes. All of these candles, they are in a 4-hour time frame. Okay? They are in a 4-hour time frame. It means every candlestick, it took 4 hours to start and complete. But at the end, they are displaying a different body shape. They are displaying a different body what? Body shape. Okay? So because of their body shapes, we'll end up discovering and then giving them names that when a body of a candle, when a candle is looking like this, it is called this. Okay? Yes. And what does it mean? The shapes lead to another dimension. The shape of the candle lead to another dimension. That's what we are trying to discover slowly but surely in our candlestick analysis. We are trying to understand candles. Okay? Because candles, they are a visual representation of what is going on in the market. Right? Are we together? Can we proceed? Can we proceed? Are we together? Can we continue? Anybody remaining behind? Can we proceed? Okay. All right. So let's proceed now. Let's proceed. Let me bring another slide here. Let me bring another slide here. This one over here. Okay. Let's talk about shadows. Let's talk about shadows, but specifically long shadows. How do they come into picture? Okay? How do they come into picture? We need to understand shadows now. Okay. So when we were looking at components or parts of a candlestick, which we call it candlestick anatomy, all right, we discovered that a candle has got tails or it has got shadows. All right. So these shadows, they are found below and above the body. Below and above the body. That's where these shadows are found. Okay. So we are going to see that here, this is an upper shadow. It is longer than the bottom one. Okay. And in this candle, here it is a longer shadow. Yeah. The bottom part, the bottom one is a longer than the upper one. So let's talk about long shadows. Okay. So both long and short, or both long and lower shadows. Okay. We do have upper and lower. Okay. We do have upper shadow and lower shadow. So I'm saying both upper and lower shadow, they give us very, very important information about a particular trade session. Okay. Let me go to trading view. Let me go to trading view. All right. Let me go to trading view. When I am explaining about these shadows, let me go to trading view. Which one should I pick? Can I find candles that are close to each other, but they display the same? Let me see if I can find the one that I'm looking for. Okay, anyway, I'll just use any. I'll just use any. So let's talk about these shadows in detail. I've said that the upper and the lower shadow, they give us important information about that particular trade session. All right. So let me pick this one over here. I want to enlarge it. Let's talk about this candle over here. The green candle, this one. Okay. The lower shadow is longer than the upper shadow. Okay. The lower shadow is longer than the upper shadow. Okay. Now, the upper shadow, this one, signifies the trade session went high. Remember, we have discovered that the candle should have the high of the market. Okay, should have the high of the what? Of the market. So when a candle is having an upper shadow, okay, the upper shadow tells us how high the price went. If we are to draw a line here, okay, this side is the price. This side, it's where the price of this particular asset is. So if we are to draw a line going this way, we are going to locate how high this price went through the shadow. So the upper shadow signifies how high the trade session went. Are we together? The upper shadow signifies how high the trade session went, while the lower shadow signifies how low the trade session went. Okay? How low the trade session went. In other scenarios, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can find a candle. Okay, let me just use this one. Okay, let me just use this one. In other scenarios, you are going to find a candle like this without a shadow. Can you see it's flat? It is flat like this. There is no shadow. Okay, so where is the low of the market? How low the price went in this scenario where there is no shadow at all? So where it opened, remember this is a green candle, where it opened becomes the low of the market because there is no shadow. Okay, if it happens that here above there is also no shadow, it is a full body like that, it means that where it closed, the closing, okay, the closing level becomes the high of the market as well. Where price closed, it is where shows that the price also went high. Are we together? So it does not necessarily mean that a candle should always have tails, should always have shadows. No, there are other scenarios you will find out that the candle does not have a shadow. So in that candle does not mean that there was no low of the market, there was no high of the market. The closing price becomes the high of the market if it is a green candle. The opening price becomes the low of the market if there is no shadow in a green candle like this. Am I preaching or I am teaching? 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 Okay, they said I am teaching. Okay, all right. I thought I am preaching. Okay, I am teaching. Okay, all right, thank you. So yeah, let's go and dig deeper. We are not done on the shadows. Okay, we have only discovered that shadows, they help us to locate how low the price went or how high the price went. First thing for shadows, they help us to locate the high of the price and the low of the price. Shadows, they help us locate that. All right, so it is telling us, okay, candlesticks with long shadows, they show us that the trade session or the trading action occurred well. Okay, occurred well. It passed the opening and the closing of the price. What do I mean when I say a trade session occurred well? For example, in this candle, okay, for example, in this candle over here, okay, this is the low of the market, this is the high of the market. So when the price opened here, okay, there was a selling activity that happened. That's why there is this shadow down here. When the price opened, sellers started to sell. Then it reached to this level, which is the low of the market or the low of the price. But it did not stay here, okay? It did not stay there at the bottom. When it came down here, buyers who like to buy low so that they can sell high, they say, chai, an opportunity to buy. So they started buying from here. They started buying. They are buying low. Buyers, they like to buy low. So when the price came down here, they were waiting. It was an opportunity to them. Then they started buying. The moment it went back to the opening where this price opened, some, they were already in profit. Some, they were already in profit because they bought at this level. So when the price went back to where it opened, it was already profit for them, but they did not sell. Okay, they did not sell. Then they they pushed the price to pass the opening level. They pushed it. Okay, they pushed it up to this level here. Up to this level here. Okay, when it reached to this level, then buyers, they're like, aha, we have reached at least a very good profit. Now let's sell. So some, they started selling. Okay, until it got here at this level. All right, so when it got to this level, some, they said, no, we are not exiting the market. We're not gonna sell at this level. We want still to remain in the market. So some, they sold, but those who were selling, they were not more than those who were buying. That's why the price at the end of the session did not close below the opening. It closed above the opening. So the buying pressure here was more than the selling pressure because the sellers could not outperform the buyers. As a result, the price closed closed above the open. Here is the open. If the sellers could continue to sell and then pass the opening, you could see that the candle could no longer be green. It could be red, meaning to say sellers, they have entered into the buyers section, okay? Or they have entered into the buyers territory. They are terrorizing the buyers in their own territory. As a result, they are painting the whole territory red. They are telling buyers, you are small, you cannot outnumber us. Okay, but in this scenario, sellers could not supersede buyers. They managed to close above the opening. Here is the opening. they managed to close here. So the upper shadow signifies how high the price went. The lower shadow signifies how low the price went. In this scenario, we are able to conclude that this particular trade session went, or it occurred very well, because it passed the what? The open and the close. When a candle is having upper shadow and lower shadow, there is opening and closing being passed over there. I don't know if I'm trying to bring the message home. I don't know if I'm bringing the message home. We are trying to discover what shadows do to us as traders. What message do they carry? Ladies and gentlemen, if a candlestick, I think I'm gonna close on shadows. If a candlestick, let me pull this one. I was using which one? I think I was using this one. I want a candle with a long lower shadow. Where can I find? Okay, this one. Let me use this one. Okay, so that you are able to capture what I'm trying to display. If a candle is having a long lower shadow like this, okay, when a candle is having a long lower shadow like this, okay, it simply means sellers, they flex their muscle. Okay, they flex their muscle. First of all, you need to understand how this shadow was created. How did it came about? Okay, how did it came about? So you can see that when price opened here, okay, when price opened here, sellers pushed the price down. So sellers, first of all, that are creating this position, okay, it is sellers who flexed their muscle downward, but buyers did not allow it. When the sellers flexed their muscle downward, buyers, they said, enough is enough. Where are you going with the price? Okay, so buyers, they came in, they pushed back the price and said no. They pushed it back to the opening, to the extent that they even passed the opening, they close above the opening. So this movement is created by sellers. The creation of the lower shadow is created by sellers. They were trying to display their muscle. They were trying to flex their muscle to push the price down. But unfortunately, one reason or another, buyers, they came in numbers. They refused that you are no longer going to treat us this way. Then they pushed the price back. That's the creation of this lower shadow. Are we together? Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? 5 minutes to go. Are we together? How a lower shadow comes into picture? Who is the cause? Who causes lower shadows to be created? Okay, so first of all, they should be sellers, because they are pushing the price to the bottom. And then buyers, they come and counterattack. Yes, keep learning. You need to keep learning. That's why we always repeat the same lessons many times. We don't stop. We always repeat the same lessons. We want to make sure that this information stays in our medulla oblongata. Is it medulla oblongata? Yes. Let me check something here a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so that is the how the lower shadow comes about. So the same applies to the upper shadow. Okay, let me conclude with the upper shadow. All right, let me conclude with the upper shadow. All right, so I'm still bringing the trading view again, but this time around we want to focus on a candle with a long upper shadow. Okay, let me pick this one. Let me pick this one, the one with red color, right? So that I can paint my picture very well. So you can see this one, this candle over here, this one, it is having a long upper shadow. When the price opened here, okay, when the price opened here, all right, you are going to find out that the price went up. Yeah, when price opened here, this is a red candle. Okay, this is a red candle. So the red candle, when the price opened here, the first activity that happened here, it was not a selling activity. It was a buying activity. So the buyers, they bought until they reach here. When they reach here, which is the high of the market, then selling activity started to happen. Sellers, they said, buyers, enough is enough. Then they started selling. Okay? They started selling to the extent that they went back to where the price opened. Okay? The activity went back to where the price opened. All right? As you can see here, it went back to where it opened. Why TradingView want me to subscribe? I don't have money for subscription. They must leave me alone. They should stop disturbing me here. Okay. So the selling activity, it passed the opening price. Okay, until it went further down to this level where it is described as the low of the market. So when it went to this level, buyers, they tried to revenge. They tried to shoot back. Okay, they started buying, but unfortunately, they could not cross the opening price again. The battle ended, or the game ended below the opening. Okay, the battle ended below the opening. Here is the opening price. It opened here. Okay, it opened here. The market opened here. The price went high up. It could not stay on top. It came back down to the opening, and it crossed the opening to this level. When it reached to this level, buyers, they came in, tried to push the price back to the opening, but they failed. They ended up closing the session here. That's why this candle is still red, meaning to say it was dominated by sellers. So who created this muscle here? It is buyers. They flexed their muscle to the top, but the price could not remain on top. Okay? Sellers, they said, you're not going to outnumber us. They came in large numbers. When I say they came in large numbers, I'm simply saying there was more selling activity than buying activity. People wanted to take profit. They started selling. Taking profit, because when the price opened here, okay, it went high up. You can see that it is opening at the same level where this previous session closed. If you are to look previously in this candle, the same level where the price closed here, okay, it is the same level where this one is also opening. So the same activity that was closed here, which was a buying activity, because this candle is still green. So the buying activity here was transferred to the next session. When the next session opened, the power, the pressure that was dominating, it was a buying pressure. So buyers continued with their activity here of buying. Then price went high up there, but they could not maintain the price. They could not contain the price. Sellers, they came and say, we want to go buy bread. We want to take our children out for lunch, so we need some profit. So they started selling. They started selling until they passed the opening price and they closed the game below the opening. Then buyers were 0, sellers scored 1. If it was a game, it ended like that. That's how this session ended. So who created the upper shadow? It was buyers. They flexed their muscle to the top, but they could not maintain the price. (7:32). We're closing the class. Questions, guys? Questions, guys? We are learning about shadows. We have just started now, opening the candle a little bit before we go deeper into it and start discovering what type of a candle is this? What is the name of this candle? So we are starting from naming its body parts and what brings those body parts. Anyone with a question? Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? If you're having a question, please ask your question in the chat, or maybe you can come on the microphone. I'm just giving us 2 minutes. If you want to come on the microphone, raise your hand. So for the sake of order, don't just open your microphone. Raise your hand. Anybody with a question? The opening of the red candle. The red candle opens above, it closes below. I don't know if I'm answering the question. Is it Simon? The opening of the red candle. Is it the one that I was using to demonstrate? Is the one that you're asking a question from? Were you asking a question from this candle? This candle over here, this is the one that I was using to demonstrate. Okay. The price opened here. This is the opening of the price. The price opened here. Okay. So when the price opened here, remember the power, this session just closed. This one, it just closed. When it ended, where the price closed in this session, it is the same level where this one opened. So when this one opened, the activity that was happening here was transferred to this one. As a result, it was a buying activity. So buyers continued to buy to this level, but they could not keep the price at this level. Sellers sold, not only selling to the extent that they passed the opening. Okay, they passed the opening to this level. Okay, so when it reached to this low, buyers, they were trying to come back again, but the sellers, they said, no, we're not going to allow you. So buyers, they ended up, the price ended up closing below the opening. So if price is closing below the opening, it means who was in control? It is the sellers. When price is opening, is closing below the open, who was in control? Sellers. When the price is closing above the open, when the price is closing above the open, okay, when the price is closing above, you need to see these two different things. Above, here is above. This is the opening. This is the opening. Okay, it closed above. If it opened here and it closed somewhere here, this candle could be red. From where it opened, if it did close here, this candle could no longer be green, it could be red, because sellers, they close their price below. Buyers, they close their price above. So this candle is green because it is buyers who controlled it. That's why the price closed above. If it could close below here, this candle could be red. It means the sellers, they are the ones who closed this session with pressure. It becomes interesting, guys, when you start learning about these things and they get to your head. Okay, we need to end the session now because of my time. We need to end the session. Yes, we need to end the session. Anyone with a question? I think I have reviewed that. I think that was Simon Osika who was asking me to review the opening of the red candle. Did I answer your question, Simon? Okay. Any announcement, leaders, before we terminate the session? Any announcement? Any announcement? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. But we have come to the end of our session. Yeah, I was asking if there is a community announcement from the leaders. Let me check who is here. Okay, Leader Doris is here. I'm not sure about Leader Emmanuel. Yes, Leader Doris, is there any announcement? Is there an announcement? Okay, probably she's busy. Okay, all right, guys, it's a Friday. I believe that we're going to have a question and answer session. So we are going to meet in that session. But for today, we are closing our technical analysis class today. We're going to resume the classes again next week, Monday. Okay, we're gonna resume our classes again next week, Monday. So for technical analysis, we are closing the session today. I'm not expecting someone tomorrow to start asking, do we have a class? Do we have a class? Okay, so here's the announcement. We are ending our technical analysis session today. We're gonna resume the classes on Monday. So I wish you a lovely weekend as you are trading, applying what we are sharing here. I'm sure that it will help to simplify your trading using your Royal Q robot. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed day. Juma Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters. May you have a fantastic Friday. Thank you so much. We love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.